So before I get into the build, I just wanted to show you that these evil villagers have trapped this bird, this giant bird, into this little corridor here, and he's peeing as an indicator that the chickens are ready to be harvested. So yeah, I added this manual chicken killing mode so that when enough chickens build up, then this bird statue pees as an indicator, and you can change that here with this dial. So right now it's on low power. 162 chickens have built up. But if we were to change it to, let's say, high power, it would build up to about 282 chickens, and since it hasn't built up yet, the bird has stopped peeing. Aside from that, we also have an automatic chicken farm, so we can either choose between cooked chicken here or raw chicken, which we have built up here. So yeah, I'll just get into the build now.
Hey everyone, this is BirdPEE, and so here's my chicken statue that I've built in part 1. There he is there looking at us from above, and he constantly is laying eggs for us. And so these eggs will be processed into chickens, which will either automatically be converted into raw chicken or cooked chicken at the press of a button. And they'll be stored here in these chests down below. And also what I've done in before part 2 was to give our wiring a proper home behind this door here. So we'll go ahead and label it right now for everybody. We'll just call it danger high voltage. So we'll be collecting the chickens here for the manual chicken killing mode, and they'll be dispensed by a couple of dispensers up above, and these will dispense eggs which have been stored up in our storage area, our reserves, which we've built in part 1. And so they'll be hatched on these platforms down below. And so we play on a server, so we have to be courteous to other players. So we want to be able to measure how many chickens there are. So we'll be using weighted pressure plates to do that. And yes, an actual use was, for a weighted pressure plate besides just turning on the light here. So we will weigh the chickens, and when they build up to have a certain number, we want the dispensers to stop hatching the eggs. Both dispensers will be hatching eggs at the same rate, so we'll only actually need to be measuring one weighted pressure plate. This may get a little technical for some people, but I'll try to explain it in the easiest way possible, so bear with me. Using an iron weighted pressure plate, one chicken will send out one redstone signal strength. And so every 10 chickens after that, one more signal strength will be added, up to a total of 15 signal strength. That means when there are 11 chickens, the signal strength will be 2, and when there are 141 chickens or more, the signal strength will be 15. So how do we decide how many chickens we want to build up? We'll use an item frame as a dial to choose a chicken limit. An item can be rotated on the item frame to output a signal strength from 1 to 8 using a comparator. So using the same comparator, we'll be comparing the item frame signal plugged into the back of the comparator to the weighted pressure plate signal plugged into the side of the comparator, so that when the weighted pressure plate signal strength matches the item frame signal strength, the comparator will stop outputting a signal in the front of the comparator. So we will use that compared signal output to turn on and off the chicken dispensers. So from the weighted pressure plate, we measured out 8 redstone blocks away to the side of the comparator, which means the max signal will be 15 minus 8, which is 7. So 7 will, when compared to the max signal strength of the item frame, will never shut off the item frame, which means that this position in the upward position will be infinite chickens. So we'll just put max power infinite chickens up here. Oh, Dr. Nico's got on. Let's just say hi to him. Hey there. Okay. Okay, so since we have an infinite option, we need to have a way to kill them easily. Because if you had an infinite option, an infinite number of chickens can build up and lag your server. So we'll make a kill switch here. So we'll have a dispenser pointing towards the chickens, and oops, I need to pull this out one more. So we'll have a dispenser pointing towards the chickens, and we'll put some harm potions in there. And cool. I'll check it out. So, you know what? I don't have any potions on me. So maybe I'll go get some and check out what Dr. Nikos has built. But we'll wire this up really fast. So we'll put 2 repeaters here, and then we'll put a button on the other side. So, let's see, we'll just make sure that the wiring is right here. Okay. And then we'll put a button. I'll make it out of wood. A nice contract with the stone. Okay, and there we go. So now when harm potions are in there, they'll shoot out and kill all the chickens immediately. So we'll just put emergency kill switch. Okay. I'm gonna go check out what Dr. Nikos has done and also get some harm potions. I'll be right back. Wow. Okay, grab some potions, put them in the dispenser, and we're back. Okay, so now we need to add a way to turn on the dispensers. So we'll just put a torch in the middle here. Then probably hook up a timer to this torch here, so that the dispensers can dispense the chickens. And we'll put an item in there, and the item will swap back and forth in the hoppers, and then it'll turn on this torch. Okay, and then when you add a constant power, it'll stop the items from hopping around in the hopper, and then that'll shut off the dispensers. Put it maybe down here. And then we'll have our on-off switch, which I like to use buttons, so we're going to make it a little more challenging. And I'll put the button up here. So that now when we push the button, it pulses at the moment, but we'll make it have a constant on or off like a switch or a lever. Oh. Hey there, you want to check out? Oh, he's a butcher. That's why he's waiting here. Okay, so now when you press this button, it should stay on and should dispense chickens. Well, one of them's not working, so I'll need to figure that out. Okay, so now it works. So I'll just go show you the wiring really fast. Basically, we have a button which sends out a pulsed signal, which powers the dropper, which will drop the item into another dropper, which then the comparator will be on or off. And so when the signal is off, this torch is on here, which turns the indicator light on here. And when the power is off towards the hopper timer, then the hoppers can swap the item back and forth, which then allows the dispensers to be turned on. So let's build a wire directly from the dispensers to the comparator. And oops, I guess we can't do that. Okay, So don't use a solid block here. Use a half slab. This way the signal can be sent upwards to the torch up above, to the dispensers, and it won't interfere with the dispenser of the dispenser holding all the harm potions. So here we will send it to the comparator. This signal is constantly on right now, but chickens haven't built up, so we need to invert this signal here. So now it's off, so the dispensers can continue dispensing. So here is the signal from the weighted pressure plate, and only when the signal is greater will the torch turn on, which turns on this wire here, and will constantly power the dispensers. So right now it's on infinite power. We'll put it on low power here, and so at low power it still has 8 blocks of redstone to go through before it can even reach the comparator. So the lowest setting will turn off the comparator when the signal strength reaches 9, which is estimated to be about 81 chickens. And so since we have 2 holding areas, it's going to be about 162 chickens for the lowest power. So when the sword is pointing downwards, the signal strength will be at 12, which will be a max of 111 chickens. And since we have 2, it'll be a max of 222, or about 222 chickens, since we don't know exactly the rate at which the chickens will hatch in the second holding area. And then high power will be a max of 282 chickens, since, like we said before, signal strength of 15 is 141 chickens, so that's times 2, 182. Now at max power, the signal strength will be 8, and since the weighted pressure plate's max power can only be 7, it'll never be equal to or greater than the signal strength of the item frame, which means that the signal will always be on, and then the dispensers will never be turned off, so we'll get infinite chickens. And so we'll just put not recommended for this.
Last but not least, we'll wire this up so that the bird pees when it's ready to be when the chickens are ready to be harvested. Alright, so let's give this a try. So when all the chickens are maxed out in their holding area, then the bird statue will be peeing just like we want to, so it's indicated that the chickens are at max capacity. And now when we kill them and there's no weight left on the pressure plate, then the bird will stop peeing. At high power we get about 21 levels of experience, and trading the chickens with the villagers gives us about 19 emeralds. So here I left it on infinite mode for a while until about 1,000 chickens built up, and here we got a little over 30 levels. It was quite laggy, so I wouldn't recommend putting it on infinite mode for these 30 levels. Instead, I would say that this is a fun way to get a few levels just here and there, just on high power. And as soon as all the stuff goes away, the bird stops peeing, and that is a BirdPEE style chicken farm. All right. Thanks for watching.